Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another, open house. This is a location that I just decided to build on, mainly because I saw a build by Claude Theron, I think I'm saying his name right, I'm not sure. I'll put the link here in the description. You should definitely check his channel out. He's got amazing builds. So this one kind of sparked from that. He did a build here as well, and I really loved the way his turned out. So I just wanted to, build something real quick and try and make a new Marina style town here. There's a lot to show you, so I'll probably just start maybe up top from the beginning as you head into the town, and then we'll just kind of explore around, and I will try and cover everything I can. So let's go check it out. Okay, so here we are at the top entrance of the town. What I wanted to do, and the reason why I wanted to build here, like I said, inspired by Claude's build, but also wanted to try using the vanilla workbench, and the build space there isn't very big, so I wanted to expand from that workspace by using this build anywhere workbench, and by using this expand outside of that vanilla area, which is what I was able to do here. As you come into the town here, I wanted to make it look like a street that leads into the marina there. I knew this was going to be a giant build, so as you can see, the roads are still dirt. In fact, some of the buildings are half buried. And that was just to use this hillside, maybe to cover up the fact that I didn't want to actually try and lay down roadways and sidewalks and complete buildings all the way up here. And like I said, to use this hillside, so down there is all the roads, but over here you can see I put in a little section here to make it look like there was a road there at some point, but over the 200 plus years maybe it got buried with all this dirt. So I tried to keep with the idea and the build style, I guess, that majority of this road was buried. That's why some of the houses, some of the entrances and doors and things, I just kind of built it into the ground to give that look like it's been covered with dirt over the years. And to kind of get the idea of the road, I added in lampposts, these railings here, and like the mailbox, utility poles, bushes on the side, the cars, and of course anything I could to kind of line the edge of the road there, to give the illusion that this road at one point curved around, curved and went down in. So that's what I tried to do with a lot of the junk there. It's post-war look. I thought that would work the best for the marina, just because I don't really have a whole lot of options on the PlayStation as far as new, perfect looking buildings and objects. So I decided to just make this more lore friendly, not to mention, like I said earlier, with this whole buried street idea, it obviously works a lot better if it's post-war. So I try to do a variety of houses and also businesses. Like this one here would be, at one point would have been the town bank. I don't recall which mod these building pieces are from, but they worked out great, I think, for a bank. This is not something you can get into, but it still gives the illusion that it is a full building. And I built that all the way in the back, including this little air conditioning system or something here in the back. So I did try to complete all the buildings on all four sides, even if they weren't furnished inside. There are some that you can go inside, but there's no way I would have the build capacity on my PlayStation to have all these actual interior buildings, which I think I would love to do at some point, but I just don't think I would have the build space. I kind of connected two of these post-war buildings. Not sure what mod it's from, but they're prefab buildings already built. And I just kind of stuck them together and added that little wood thing there. So it looked maybe like a, some kind of apartment situation. Looking right into your neighbor's window there. Anyways, I just thought it looked good from the front. So that's why I put those there to, once again, like I said, to line the edge of the road here and give the illusion of it curving into the marina here. Added in the van, had to add this in at the angle of the dirt. I used the quappa, so I was able to tilt and lean that into the dirt. And once again, that also gives the illusion that the road underneath, maybe where those tires are, curves down and slopes down with the rest of the road. And it looks cool parked there. It just also gives the idea that this was a road. Since most of the interior buildings and such are more in the main town next to the marina. So these are just, essentially for looks, I guess. And in order to deal with this sloping street or hillside here, kind of constructed these little stairways and things like that to build up the sidewalks, for example, like here, the walkway to go up rather than trying to deal with some kind of sloping sidewalk. Just trying to tilt things with the quappa is very difficult, and to get all these angles would be very difficult. So I decided to go with the stairs and kind of this wall idea with the railings, which I think worked out pretty well for what it is. And then this Jersey barrier here and these blocks. The only reason this thing is here is it was some kind of neon sign or sign that I had placed down and was going to use somewhere. My game crashed and I came back and I was not able to get rid of it. I couldn't scrap it, couldn't delete it, couldn't do anything. So just had this sign sitting here in the middle of the street. So I decided to add this Jersey barrier, cover that up. I put that little thing on top because the sign kind of stuck up a bit. Added this little road barrier construction thing here just to make it look like maybe it was supposed to be there and essentially cover up that sign that I couldn't get rid of. So that was the solution for that. And thanks to the fact that this is post-war, it fits in. And that's what I love about the post-war stuff is you are able to cover up a lot of stuff with just junk. And I do that a lot. Anything sticking through a wall or sticking out, I will cover it up with like a box or something like that. So okay, so as we come into town here, this is where we start seeing more of the interior stuff. Not all of them, like this building here. Not really sure what this one is, but this is one that I eventually built, and this was the edge of the town. I think this is right where the vanilla build space cuts off, right about here. So I built this here just as one of the main buildings on the outer part of the town. Not a functioning door, but just a building at the time that would kind of bookend all these other shops here. So that one you can't go into. And the other thing, I got a mod. I wish I could remember what it was, but it has a ton of signs. And I've always been looking for that. I wish there was more neon. I don't think there's any neon in there, but they do have a lot of these shop signs that I really wanted to use, like the Fentons here, the Swatters. Just more signage through the town to give it more business friendly, more of a functional town at one point. As far as the bookstore, I'll get back to that. This comic/bookstore is kind of the first business I made on the outskirts. Just a simple bookstore, and like I've mentioned many times before, these bookshelves here, I never did finish this thing. I wanted to finish off the bottom there and maybe use some of that countertop, clean that up and hide those books that are going into the floor. Should have done that But like I said, I was getting lots of crashes, so I just decided to wrap this up, give a tour, and I'm still in the middle of my my shroud build. So anyways, I like the bookshelves, and it always makes me wind up putting some kind of bookstore in the town. So that was the idea behind this, just a bookstore, maybe some comics and stuff, magazines for people to shop at. And right next to that is this little coffee shop, which mainly came about because of this little back area. It's more of a Slocum's Joe coffee shop, but this little back patio thing I thought was kind of a cool idea to have this back here. And I thought I'd just use a bunch of the Slocum's Joe stuff from the Creation Club DLC thing, donut cases, countertops, all this stuff in the signage. So it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty sure you'd probably be able to find this stuff on Xbox or definitely PC, you know, something like this, without having to do the Creation Club. Sometimes the Creation Club has items I can't get on the PS4 other than that, so that's why I use that. In this little sign here, a lot of times I will throw these signs in, and the wordage or what is written on the signs don't necessarily always make sense for what it is, but I just have it there as more of a decoration, and we'll just ignore what's actually written on there because I don't have a whole lot of options for signs. So that's a little donut shop, coffee shop. This has an upstairs that is not accessible. This one here is behind the bookstore, and we will get to that later. And right next to the donut shop here, we've got the Drumlin diner, and my Quappa tool still stuck to the concrete. I have so many of these buried in this build because when I go to place stuff, it goes down below into the ground and I can't get it out. So there's a ton of those buried around here. Anyways, so the Drumlin diner, wanted to add this here on the corner, and that goes all the way back here to this little area back here. So sticking with the lore friendly is more of a back area with the dumpsters and the garbage. And this one is pretty simple here. It's just the counters. And once again, like I said, in regards to the signage, just ignore the fact that that's a Slocum Joe's sign, but that's the only kind of reader sign, menu sign that I had access to. So I used that there and this counter section here to create, you know, somewhat of a kitchen area they might have. Not the most elaborate stove selection, but I think it works for this build. And then the arrangement of the booths to give this the diner look. It's able to squeeze all this in, all pretty tight here, with the whole Nuka-Cola theme, which I think works well with the Drumlin diner thing as well. And as I showed you before, this door would lead out here to the dumpsters, garbage, things like that. That is the Drumlin diner. Head back over to the other side of the street here. And as you can see, this is already glitching out. And this happens to me a lot. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys know what causes this or what kind of glitch it is. But anytime I use these display cases, I don't recall what mod they came with, but they always wind up turning purple. The glass goes purple, and I can never get it back to clear. But the idea here is, this is the gift shop for the Marina here, and it have various posters, framed art here to sell. Nothing spectacular, but you know, just your run-of-the-mill gift shop in town. I thought that that might be a cool addition here. And there was this sign for a gift shop in that massive signage mod that I downloaded. So I thought, oh, I like the gift shop sign. It's a good size. It fits well on the side of that building there, so might as well use it. And that's what created the gift shop. And of course, another car here. this little parking meter thing. You know, just little items, objects to make this look as though it was a functioning street at some point. Just off the gift shop, just another little filler wall here, and bench and trash can here. I really like these lighted posters. I like using them because at night or as it gets darker, like right now, it kind of pops out. So looks really cool, and I like to set them into the wall a little so we don't see that electrical little hookup thing at the top, which I don't really need because I have the wireless electricity mod, so I don't need to run wire, which is another amazing thing. Is some of these builds that get really big, you know, back in the day before having the wireless, I was running wire, conduit, all kinds of things all over to light things, and it just was impossible. It made the build so difficult, so it's nice to having that wireless thing. So yeah, all these doors are open. This is what happens when you get all these people. They just walk around, open doors, and they don't shut them. And I think I have auto shut door mod or something. Not really working, obviously. But my idea here on this little hallway thing here is this would all be like little rooms, you know, for people to rent or stay. If they were docked there at the marina and needed to stay for a day or two, that's what these would be for. And I wanted to create a little bit of an alleyway, very much like the one in Diamond City as you go to Valentine Detective Agency. So it's kind of what I was going for this, and adding some light here and there, mainly for mood, and just when you look down this alley, there's multiple colored lights. It just makes it more interesting, I think, and I like doing that in a lot of my builds. More the drastic lighting like this with the colored lights just breaks up the monotony of just one white color. May not make a lot of sense sometimes, but I like the way it looks. So anyway, so this little alleyway connecting to the main street here. Why don't we go back to this other alleyway behind Drumlin Diner, behind this little trash area. We have this little garage and offset leading here, which is another alleyway leading to a secondary location for Valentine Detective Agency, which is down here at the end. My idea here, once again, like that other alleyway over there, wanted to create not only the buildings in the town, but maybe add some alleys and be able to add to that to give it a look or feel and vibe, much like Diamond City. A lot of junk in the alley, and once again the colored lights, and then the detective agency neon here at the end, and really making that pop by adding some red light to get that glow, and details to the walls here, and just this overall alleyway a little more rundown and junky and post-war and lore friendly. The idea is Nick would have a secondary office in this town here, and I kind of like this one better. I think it fits more for the detective agency here. This is where Nick would sit here, and obviously his clients there. And once again, very harsh mood lighting. And the secondary desk here for Ellie Perkins to sit. So that's the detective agency. I think it turned out pretty cool. I've yet to put a door on here. Probably should have done that before the tour, but oh well, you get the idea. So behind this wall here is the Slocum's Joe patio thing. And then, as I said before, up above that, here's the patio area, as you see, coming off this alley. And then up these stairs would lead us to this little accessible room. Should be more like a studio type apartment that I wanted to furnish, but it just kept crashing when I tried to place stuff. So unfortunately, this one is not furnished, but I think it would be I really wanted to furnish it. I thought it'd be really cool looking in the end to have this this nice view of the street coming into town here, and little studio apartment here. We'll come back down here, back through the alley, and we'll head back out to the main street here. and continue on with the town tour. Here, this Fenton's building here, this is the same original non-accessible building that was here in the vanilla game. I did not want to delete that. I wanted to try and keep a lot of the main buildings that I could. And I really like all of that air duct system there, and the old weeds and vines growing off on the side of the building. So I wanted to keep that. So that was the only one I kept, but I wanted to also build onto it and build next to it and give it the appearance that it continues, which is what I did here with these extra buildings. Is wanted to create texture by different buildings, so different storefronts. Not everything is brick. We got some wood there, and then we got some of the corrugated metal as well. So I just wanted to break it up, make it a little more interesting, and also make it a little more lore friendly and more like a Marina town. So when you're looking down the street here, it does have a town vibe, but as you get to the end, as you're coming in, you definitely get the whole Marina vibe once you get towards the end of the street and you start seeing all the boats that are docked there. And we'll get more into that later, because that extends past that main vanilla building area. As I said, these buildings here, these are non-accessible, but the swatter shop is, and tried to make it all baseball. Once again, here's these glitched out display cases that I was going to have a bunch of baseball uniforms, hats, balls, bats, things like that. Not super detailed, but you get the idea that maybe Mo would sell some bats here, or maybe this is a franchise. Right next to the swatter store, and this is towards the beginning of the build and my idea. And as I had said in a lot of my builds, I will build from the workbench out, just because a lot of times I need to figure out a way to either hide the workbench or create a room that encompasses and, has the workbench in it. So I will usually make that and then start building out from there. So that's pretty much what I did with this one. And I wanted to make this little alleyway, very skinny alleyway, because the workbench area is not a main thing in the town. This is just a little side storage shed type thing. And that also has more access through this alley here as well. Try to add a lot of alleys just so when you're walking around through town, if you need to cut through, there's enough of them. Because I have done some builds where I have no alleys or anything, or any connecting sidewalks. It makes it pretty difficult to run through town sometimes when you have to go from one end to the other and there's no way to cut through and you got to go all the way around. So kind of learned my lesson on that. Right next to this alleyway here, this is where that old bar was. I wanted to make this into something else, so I scrapped that whole thing and decided to make this a guns and ammo type store, which would also have a warehouse and livable area upstairs, which is open. I just never got around to actually connecting or making an entrance for that. We'll go in the store here. So the idea was to have this mega guns and ammo store, for the survivalist type people. So plenty of ammo and plenty of guns, even a little workbench to maybe repair, fix, or to alter them, mod them a little. Maybe some armor or clothing. So just a nice little gun store here. And as you can see, my frame rate is dropping quite a bit. Kind of choppy here, so anyways. Out front, some more chairs and boxes and things to kind of keep with the whole Marina idea. Maybe being a port that people would come and either get a drink at the Shamrock, fill up on your guns and ammo, bookstore, get something to eat, get some food. That's the whole concept behind that, is the whole Marina vibe. And that's why I wanted to continue on with the whole dock idea here, with the wood here on the edge, and this overhangs the original dock down there, which is right there, and that's where there is that diner type thing at the end. I did want to keep some of it, mainly because I think you can see from here. Yeah, that little mossy concrete thing there. I don't have that in the mods, and I really love that, especially with the tires hanging there. So I wanted to keep as much of that as I could, so I kept half of it because it was taking up too much room with the double, and I knew I wanted to create more space, say over here, to dock boats, even smaller boats. So that's what I did with that. And this little marina ramp thing here, I put this in. I had to quappa angle this thing in at a weird angle just because it was a little too steep for what I needed it for, but I thought it's kind of cool to maybe have this instead of stairs coming down onto this dock, which like as I said before, half of it is from the original, which actually goes over here. I just scrapped the stuff here so I could dock this smaller boat, and then did my own little pier logs here and wood on the edge there, to make it look a little more like it was meant to be. Adding all the junk on the dock, give it a more work in progress look here. Maybe this is where the fishermen would dock, unload their fresh catches of the day. Not sure if fresh is the right word for those, but we'll go with it. So why don't we head back up here, and this little shack thing here, before I forget, this I just wanted to add to have one more building here that was maybe the main thing in the marina. I was going to have this some kind of office, but decided to just use it as kind of a storage type shack here. You can see this better at night, but added this little sign and neon letters for as you come in, or actually as you leave the marina. You can see that. All these boxes here, this is in the theme section. I'm not sure what mod this comes with, but there is a fishing theme, and that has a lot of these floaters here that you can attach to walls and hang from ceilings. It has these cool little clump of barrels boxes and fishing nets. So I use that to basically cover up the corner here with this curved curb piece. And I wanted, as you come in, I wanted this area here to be curved and not a hard 90-degree angle. And by doing that, as you can see, all these pieces here, it's hard to use wood pieces, which are obviously lined here, and try and angle them like I did here. It works pretty good. It just looks like it's built that way. But when you come here to the edge and you have to try and curve that wood around this curved piece, you wind up using so many pieces, it just starts looking really wacky. So I just decided to throw that on top, just cover that up, essentially. The other thing I thought turned out pretty cool, is I wanted to do this little sewer drain here. And unfortunately the detail down below, because I had to use that big block down there for the other side of the wall there, but I used the metal grate type thing for the railing, and Quappa tilted that to use that as kind of a fancy drain cover here for the sewer. So I wanted to put that in just as a little detail. I wanted to try and build it just to see if it would work, and I think it turned out pretty cool. So pretty happy with the way that turned out. I did choose the brick road look just because I thought it kind of looked more marina-like, as opposed to just using the concrete or blacktop. I think the texture of it is a little more interesting, and it also contrasts with the sidewalk a little more, so those pop out, look a little better. And I just lined the street with some shrubs and weeds and a lot of that curbing from the grounded mod, which I think finishes things off nicely. So when you use the sidewalk pieces, you add the curbs to the edge, even tilted this little section here. Because I think when I first started building, I was up here and then had to come down to the ground here or something. So I decided to, as you can see, tilt this little ramp here, which I had to do for the curb pieces, the sidewalk, as well as the street. It's a little tedious to do. I think it turned out pretty good and looks great. And once again, using the curved curb pieces just looks better than a hard edge there, I think. And using the dirt and weeds, like I said before, to try and fill in a little section there that's a little hard to fill with large square pieces of concrete. So that's why I always use a lot of weeds on my corners here, a lot of junk. As you can see here, it's not really filled up perfectly, but you get the idea. Why don't we come back here and start getting into this main warehouse here. And this thing I wanted to build mainly to fill the gap that was the old warehouse that was here, had that ramp going down into the water. So I wanted to deal with that. And like I said, I wanted to keep a lot of this moss concrete block stuff there because, you know, I don't really have anything that looks as fitting as that does with the barnacles there on the side and just the mossy wet look. So I wanted to keep that, so I thought it might be interesting to do this warehouse but make it as though there's a purpose for this ramp other than just boat. So I thought maybe some kind of cargo loading and unloading area, which is what I turned this into. So got a boat coming in here, and then I put that crane in thinking maybe they unload boats off there onto the dock here, up or down this system here, and into the warehouse. And the crane is operated from up there. We'll go check that out. So that's kind of the concept, that this warehouse would have ingoing and outgoing shipments there, here through this little section here on the bottom. So I did scrap the other warehouse, but I did keep a lot of the ground there, and like I said, the moss concrete stuff there. Then added my own on the side here just to make this work a little better. And as I was saying, this little sky bridge here going across to the main office, I wanted to put that in just to create this little doorway type thing here that goes down into the water there. And once again, that's all connected here to the warehouse. On this side, more storage for more boxes, more shipment stuff. And out the back here, got a power system. This isn't actually really powering anything, but I wanted to put it in because I did have this big shed here and I had to fill it with something. So I thought, why not make this more of like the generator room. And this would be, I don't know, some kind of sorting type thing from all these shipments here. So access to these boats coming in here to unload via this crane from several different spots, over there, over here, and down there. So kind of a three-way offload or load type area is what I was going for. So why don't we go upstairs. Little manager desk, I guess, keeping track of the shipments coming and going. And then upstairs here, more storage of stuff, maybe items that are shipped. But this room back here would be where you would come to operate the crane. A little more high-tech in here. You start that up and then have these What I'm assuming is the controls for the crane, which is right there. You could unload from the boats there. The windows need a little washing, but you get the idea. So I thought that worked pretty well for the crane operator. And then the sky bridge section, the access to this door, come across and would lead into this office area here, which would probably be also connected to the shipping, receiving style stuff that would be going on down there and in the marina. It's pretty simple office feel to it. Tried to throw in some clutter and detail the best I could and give you the idea of a functioning, busy office. Why don't we head back down? More of the loading dock area here. We head back over here. Up there on the hillside is another house. I really wanted to turn that into my, why don't we go up there here? Not this house here, but that red one up there. Actually, we'll get to it here. Why don't we tour through this side alley here? This building here is another one from the vanilla game that I wanted to leave just because it had a lot of cool construction to it, texture, and gives kind of a base for this back alley here that I wanted to create just off of this building. So the idea is this is another back alley. Someone drying their fish or something, garbage, extra storage, and then this little area here, which I thought might be, you know, someone growing plants, maybe some vegetables or something, so some kind of gardening thing. And I think that worked out pretty well. I used, I believe, the dugout from Diamond City, which is in one of the mods. So it was this big giant piece and it fit pretty well in here, and I think it worked out pretty well. And then just added in a lot of the plants and some of the wall there, and this cinder block wall, which I really like, and the texture to it worked out pretty well. And it also works out pretty well from the other side. If you go down here where the workbench is, here on the side, it worked well for that wall and gave that some texture there, along with this brick and then this corrugated metal siding there. So gave that alleyway a nice look with 3 different textures, all because I used this giant dugout in section. So that fits there. Able to grow some more stuff over on this side, and that backs up against this kind of rock wall here, which I added in to raise up the ground level. Once again, this is connected here to that other side alley I showed you earlier with all the little apartments here. So up these stairs here is what would lead to what I was going to have as, you know, kind of my player home. This one up here, and this is one of the prefab buildings that they have in one of the mods. Pretty junky, but I thought I could really fix this up, make it look really cool. And I love this window and the view down in there. Made a little back patio. Not much of a view, and you see the uncompleted roof section there, but we'll just pretend we didn't see that. So we'll go back down and we'll go check out that house there real quick before I forget. That's at the very edge of town. Forgot to hit on that. But as you come into town here, this first building here, up these stairs and around this corner here, is another little section that leads back into this home here. Very simple, and this is on the edge of the marina essentially, and also looks to the back of that building there that I built. So nice little area here in front, maybe have some chairs or things like that, maybe a cooking fire or something. So that was the idea here with this this little back house. Kind of like this area here just because it's hidden, it's off the main road. Made these cool little stairs. Those turned out pretty good. And once again used a lot of the rock to then create this lower section here, which goes, in theory, goes to the back door of this building. But as I said, there is nothing in that building. It's just more of a filler building. But yeah, that house is kind of hidden back there, so I kind of like that. Okay, let's go back here. We have some more water here for the gardening person. Some retaining walls and rocks to build up sections. I did that a lot here in this build, mainly to cover things and also raise the ground level rather quickly because it is fairly abrupt, to then have this house up here and then obviously this house way up here. Wanted to try and fill this whole marina area with as many buildings as I could, which is why I built this little section here. Also to use, like I said, use some of that mossy wall there. You can kind of see some of the original dock there, and then built that up higher so it's the same level as the rest of this, and then add in a few shops here. Which would be a living area above the surgery clinic, which I figured whoever ran that would probably live up here. The idea was that somebody would live up there who maybe ran the clinic here. So we have a functioning clinic with a little chem station here. Recovery room, and then of course a surgery chair, which you can actually use for reconstructive surgery if needed, and some chems and stuff. So just a little small clinic, I guess, not necessarily a full-on hospital, but a little clinic that would address your needs in the wasteland, I guess. And then next to that is the main bar. The main bar that I think everyone coming into port would probably tie up their boats and come here for some beer, drinks. And this is very local marina type bar. So some kind of bar that might be a stop that someone would go out of their way to make while cruising around in their boat. This little outdoor area here as well, and a nice view of the water here, the marina. So this is kind of the first thing I built, mainly because it's here on the edge. One of the first things, I think, and I really like the way it turned out. I like the location of it, and I wanted to have the bar here on the edge with this patio looking out on the water. So that's why I wanted to build it on the end here. Inside and upstairs would also be an accessible area. Once again, this is unfinished, and this was going to be a really cool room up here, or house, I guess, with multiple rooms. But look at this view of the whole marina and the water. So I really wanted to build here and finish this off and make this look really cool, but unfortunately it happens to me every time. I never learn my lesson is I max out my build and kind of push my PlayStation to the limit, and prevents me from finishing a lot of this cool stuff. I think the bar turned out really great, and right next to the bar, just off the bar, I wanted to add another boat docked up there, and I just added this quick little shack covering up the hillside there, added in some boxes to hide that and just make it look like another little dock where they offload supplies and things like that. So that was the idea. Okay, here we are over on the other side again. As we look, this is more housing, more of a motel type thing is what I wanted to do with this side of the marina. I have all these separate rooms here, 4 of them, and then the head office here for the hotel. So idea is you tie up your boat, or if you're here for a period of time, you'd tie them up and come here and rent a room for the night. Like I said, we got 4 rooms here. Got this room here. Small, but functional and not much to it, but oops. You get the idea that they're all pretty standard rooms. I did change out the paintings. Some of the furniture in there is a little bit different, but for the most part the same. So that's somewhere where you could stay. And that pretty much is at the edge of the vanilla build area. I just wanted to create a hotel and somewhere to stay. And also it allowed me to use this great sign here that I thought fit. And like I said before, I wanted a lot of signage in this marina. I think it fits well, and it looks cool. I think it looks cool here. Let me jump on this boat with the dock system here, and using that, saving the dock and that mossy brick there on the side, just adding the railings and stuff on the side, this overhang, and a lot of this motel stuff. So right here on the edge is where the vanilla build limit pretty much ended, right about here. So I wanted to add in another building, so I just plopped that down just because it was easier, quicker, and it wouldn't take up a lot of build space, but not furnished. Another little studio type thing that, if furnished, would be kind of cool. Have a nice view of the marina there. So here's where I tried to extend the dock. Wanted to use these wood parts just to separate from this dock here, but extend this out and make this little fuel spot here where maybe boats could back up, fuel up. And the idea is this little thing here would operate the fuel there, or the coolant. And then next to that is more dock here around the back, another quappa tool. And I just wanted to add this in to just extend this whole marina and make it a little larger, have a little more function to it. And this would have the little office here, for more loading, unloading of stuff. And also just extend maybe some storage area here. Never really got much of a chance to completely finish this off the way I liked, just because I was having problems with the quappa and the build anywhere workbench way over on this section. Not sure why, but I was able to get enough done, so you got the idea of this little extra side dock and storage area here on the back. There's also some areas in the back there that we'll go check out. We need to head back here through the dock, back out to the main street. As you come in, and just off that side alley there, we have this little section here, which also connects here through the side, this little side gate here. I wanted to keep adding on to the town, so I built up this section here, going up here, and used some more of that prefab house there. So the idea would be come up here, another living area up here, which also has a pretty cool view of the marina. And that would also lead across here, this little bridge here, to this spot where someone could live in this little Airstream trailer here. And this is a more outdoorsy kind of camping vibe here, but I thought this would be kind of a cool spot as well. Above the marina there. This would probably be one of the locals living up here. That pretty much is at the edge here, which is right next to the bridge. So that would be pretty much the edge of the town there. And that backs up here to the Valentine Detective Agency. So overall, that pretty much concludes the whole walkthrough tour. I think I covered everything. As I said, not everything is interior finished. I would love to do that. I just don't think I would have the build space to do so, but I did want to, I just wanted to build this. I've been building on the Shroud headquarters for so long that I wanted to do something different. So I kind of did this on the side. Wanted to build this real quick, and I really like the way it turned out. So hope you enjoyed the tour here, even though it's complete yet not 100% complete. But I think we'll call it a complete open house here rather than unfinished. And I think I was able to accomplish the kind of functioning marina type business that I wanted to do with this, rather than just boats docked here and there. I wanted to give it some kind of story or idea that this is at one point, or is, if I had more NPCs roaming around, a very busy functioning little town here at the marina. So I'll end it here, and hopefully I'll see you at the next open house. But as far as this one goes, thanks for stopping by, thanks for checking it out, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep building.